LEGO thrives on versatility and variety. The brand has become associated with everything from model towns to outer space to licensed franchises like Star Wars and original IP like Bionicle and Ninjago. LEGO 2K Drive is relatively narrow compared to that wide array of LEGO iconography, but that laser-like focus works in its favor. The team at 2K and Visual Concepts has made a great racing game first, allowing the LEGO elements to organically add both an astounding amount of customization and flavorful visual flourishes to make a lively and enjoyable open world driving experience. Under the hood, LEGO 2K Drive is a combination of open world racing games like Burnout Paradise or Forza Horizon and kart racers like Mario Kart or Sonic All-Stars. The main campaign has you exploring 3 big biomes, each with their own wide variety of activities and events punctuated by kart races against rival drivers who run these regions. But part of what makes both exploring and racing so fun is how toy-like it feels, thanks to some smart systems that remove any possible friction from exploration. When driving around in a typical open world racer, you may have to set a waypoint to your next objective and spend a few minutes making your way over by following the roads. In LEGO 2K Drive, your vehicle auto switches from roadster to off-road vehicle to boat based on whatever you need at a given time. A generous nitro boost and a dedicated jump button mean you can hop over obstacles and scale mountains with ease. Other cars or small buildings in the way? No problem, just smash right through them and they'll explode into 1,000 LEGO bricks, building your boost meter in the process. This effectively makes the whole world your playground, letting you carve a path right through it. Naturally, the races are more tightly controlled. To keep them competitive, there are checkpoints and hard walls. But the races add another layer that isn't present in the open world in the form of power-ups. This is a staple of kart racers, and the ones present here are, for the most part, fun and diverse ways to mess with your opponents. You can instantly tell the rocket icon will let you fire a homing missile at your next opponent, for example, or the ghost icon makes you invulnerable to obstacles for a short time. Power-ups with less universally recognized icons, like a rolling mine, become clear enough after the first time you use them. The one major miss among the power-ups is the spiderweb, which falls into the kart racer weapon category of obstructing your opponent's view and slowing them down. That effect would be fine by itself, but it also forces you to jam on the button to clear the web, which just feels too distracting and unfair in the middle of a race. On top of that, the button is mapped to the same one as jump, so after clearing the webs, you're almost guaranteed to accidentally jump when you didn't mean to. A late game race against a spider-themed rival was especially frustrating for this reason. The campaign's 3 biomes are bursting with things to do in addition to traditional kart races. There are also on-the-go events that trigger automatically when you drive through a gate. Minigames like Rescue, in which you help townspeople, or Defend, where you protect a set of towers. Then there are world challenges to set record times, and quests, where you'll help townspeople with odd jobs. 2 of the 3 biomes, Big Butte County and Prospecto Valley, can feel pretty similar due to their sheer cliffs and rural landscapes, but the third is a radical departure both thematically and visually. And sometimes your activities can have permanent effects on the world, like mowing weeds down to replace them with a speed boosting crystal or unlocking jet jumps that will populate throughout the biomes. With a wide variety of vehicles that have their own set of stats, LEGO 2K Drive also smartly lets you set a handful of loadouts that can be swapped anytime you're not actively in an event. One of your loadouts may be more focused on maxing out your acceleration, while another could focus on hairpin turns. As you progress through the campaign, you'll also unlock the ability to equip powerful perks, which can have a huge impact on your racing style and strategy. The presentation is perfectly kid-friendly, but the racing hooks are deep enough to draw in arcade racing fans of any age. I did hit a pacing issue once when nearing the end, when I needed to grind a few levels to qualify for the next phase of the story. I found that most of the minigames and quests rewarded very little XP, so my best bet was to replay races I had already accomplished on harder or even easier difficulties. It was a small road bump, but notable since it added an hour or so of extra playtime to what is easily an 8 to 10 hour core campaign. The length would have been perfectly satisfying without the extra padding. The final race in the Sky Cup Grand Prix is an especially thrilling high point, pun intended. And even after finishing the campaign, the open world still feels inviting and fresh, with tons of challenges I haven't even touched yet. While not exactly affiliated with the LEGO Movie, LEGO 2K Drive obviously took tonal cues from the hit animated film. The setting is mostly city-based sets, and the writing carries that same sense of tongue-in-cheek, all-ages humor that occasionally breaks the fourth wall. The interplay between the two race announcers is a highlight, with hilarious commentary between major races. Your ultimate goal is to gather enough flags to qualify for the Sky Cup Grand Prix, the ultimate racing competition held in a floating race across the clouds, which is currently dominated by an obnoxious cheater named Shadow Z.
That's me, Shadow Z!
A veteran racer named Clutch Racington sees potential in you and becomes your clueless comic mentor, ushering you through the steps of your journey to become the ultimate driver and unseat Shadow Z. With that emphasis on plucking your racer from obscurity to become a new champion, you might expect there to be heavy character customization, but sadly, there isn't. You can pick from a handful of pre-made models, but you can't craft your own LEGO minifig character from scratch, or even mix and match parts from the models you have available. However, more models unlock as you go through the campaign, and there are more available to buy in the shop. That's an odd oversight given how remarkably robust LEGO 2K Drive is when it comes to vehicle crafting. The building interface is incredibly flexible and evocative of an actual LEGO building set. The menus are so full-featured that it can be a little overwhelming at first, but it doesn't take too long to get a feel for all of your options and start tinkering away. You can start a build from scratch, modify an existing model with new parts, or even give your favorite car a custom paint job. Ultimately, the building options are cosmetic, and no amount of flaps will make your car airborne. How it actually handles comes down to the stats, which is its own submenu. While the pre-built vehicles you obtain in the campaign will have their own values assigned to stats like top speed and health, in build mode, you can select from several stat packages that balance your values with names like health option, which gives you high health, or edging out, which gives you good top speed and maneuverability at the expense of your health. You can purchase higher tier stat packs with your earned cash, but they're all relatively inexpensive, and the presets keep any of them from feeling unbalanced. It's also nicely flexible in that there doesn't seem to be a limit on which stats you can attach to vehicles. But I had no problem attaching the same stat package to both a light and very heavy vehicle. For a more meditative experience, the build shop also includes an instructions mode, made to imitate the feeling of actually building a LEGO set from a bag of full parts. It breaks down one of the pre-built models, giving you individual steps with several parts to assemble, and then you simply grab them one at a time to rotate and then click them into place. Expanding on your collection of cars to have more to build and modify is where LEGO 2K Drive appears to aim to have longevity. A season pass called the Drive Pass promises more racers and vehicles, but it isn't active at the time of this review. Aside from a wide array of vehicles, you'll also earn money through the campaign. But having completed it, I have barely enough to buy a few cars, so it seems clear that the goal is to keep players coming back long term. You can also buy premium currency and then turn it into in-game currency, which can certainly be a concern for a kid-friendly game with slow in-game progression. But since any competitive advantage comes from an inexpensive stat pack themselves, there doesn't seem to be a competitive advantage for the DLC vehicles. Whatever the future holds, LEGO 2K Drive is already a complete package. A raucous arcade racer that marries elements of open world racing and kart racing and wraps it all in a bright, playful LEGO package. It has enough real racing bona fides to satisfy adults, but the most pleasant surprise is how its combination of humor, explosive action, and robust building tools will make you feel like a kid again.